Welcome back. Today what we're going to be talking about is the final section within the engineering design process. So we've talked about up to this point understanding, design, and create. Now it's left is to reflect. Within reflection there is testing, evaluation, and redesign. So testing is what we're going to do is we're going to take our design that we've came up with, created, and we're going to put it through some tests. We're going to see, does it work as intended? Is it user-friendly? Does it require any other features that might, if it has any features? Is it safe? Will it last? Does it have quality? So in the testing, the test goal is, does your design meet the design criteria? And then what criteria or variables is being measured, how is it being measured or made or tested, and how many times should it be done? Who is involved in the testing? So what criteria is being measured should have a target numerical value. So you need to have some numerical value. You can't just say, oh, that looks good. It has to have some scientific background there with numbers. You should have a test for every design criteria, so every single type. So are you going to test it this way? You need to have a different test for a different thing. How is measurements made? So how are you going to, what tools and devices are you going to use? Rulers? Are you going to judge it based off of weight, mass, anything like that? And then what is your procedures? For instance, are you going to do a drop test? Are you going to see its strength using a shears test? You can do different type of testing. Then, how many times should you test it? Remember that testing needs to be done multiple times in order to get an accurate statistical representation of your sample. Then who's involved in the testing? So this is your design team. So you should have somebody who should be involved in the testing. And in real world, you're going to have different groups of people who are in charge of the quality assurance, the quality control, and your client, the person you're selling your device to. So for example, you got a carabiner. So you have to design a test. So what is the strength of the carabiner? So in other words, how much weight can it hold? So how are we going to do this? Well, we have a machine that can pull the carabiner apart until it breaks. How many? Well, you should repeat this enough times to be statistically relevant to know that your sample of all your carabiners are meeting the specific recommendation. And then who is going to do it is your testing engineer that works for that company. So you can put it in a device like this, where they'll actually clamp it together and then rip it apart in the up-down direction, and then they get a different one and rip it in the lateral directions to make sure it can withstand the targeted weights that it needs. Now, evaluation is when you ask questions during the evaluation is, where is the design criteria being met? What worked? What didn't work? Why? What could do to improve? Many designs need redesigning at that point. So you look at it, you figured out your part, and then it maybe not performed as well or not as up to as par with your testing. So then you have to go back and redesign. The cycle then starts all over again. You continue until a final solution is reached. When all tests are met the design criteria, then your project is done. If you have any other questions, go ahead and ask your teacher.